We began with the leaves and went to the acorns, and now we're going to go from the acorns in our next stage back to the leaves. We want to keep our high spots. We don't want to make these leaves any flatter, but we do want to bring these acorns out, and I think you can see, now we're at the side view again, how that is still a bit flat. So to make this rounder, we've got to take wood away from here. So we can start taking wood like this down. And we've got a full width here. You see how much depth we've got here? We can bring this right back, so we can pull this back here. And I think you can see how that's lifting the leaf up. And then picking it out, that sort of gives that shape. We can get any flatness off, so this is going to be really nice and round. Right down. And eventually we can start undercutting that a little bit. When it comes to the, let's just get rid of that there a minute. Okay, I think you can see that's now getting deeper. So what's going to happen is this tool is going to come round and it's going to go eventually a little bit underneath as it follows that natural curve. It doesn't have to be obviously fully cut away, but that's going to be quite deep there. Same on this side, that's going to be quite deep there. Then you can get your tool and start working this top edge here. We started by putting it in with the V tool, if you remember, like that. But now we're going to just clean that edge up, and it really wants to stick out a little bit more than the actual acorn, so this is further out and there's a little bit of a dip in there, and you can probably see it if I use my skew chisel in there, and that tells the eye that we're looking at the cup and the acorn. And then we can just keep taking this away until we feel we've got enough, and we'll round this over so that it's still coming round in this way like that. So start working the acorns like this, and where you have to, take away the leaves. So here we are a little bit further on. Let me just show you a little bit about what's happening here. So I hope you can see from the side here that how three-dimensional that is. Okay, that's what we're trying to get some depth in here. So as I've been carving these acorns, I haven't been thinking about undercutting. I've just let this shape come round and the undercutting take care of itself. That's really an important point. Just so that keeps the form of the acorn coming round. I've found that a particular tool fitted the cup really well, so I've been using that on both sides. And with these acorns, it's important to remember that this acorn sits in the cup. It can't be, you've got to follow the line of the edge of the acorn into the cup. You've got to have a sense of it being in there. If we look at this acorn at the edge here, that's this one by the stalk, this one, I think you can see that it's going to, there's nothing behind it, so it's going to be fully in the round. So this is going to be completely freestanding, so we've got to be aware of that. These leaves are coming right back, and what I want to do now is turn to this little bit in the middle where the three cups meet, and what to do about this stalk at the back here, which we want to keep. Here's another view. I think you can see the shadows a bit better. As I was saying, I was coming round this way like this, and I'm coming round underneath. So that's what I'm thinking of, not just cutting away, cutting away, cutting away. So round and underneath, and that creates that nice big shadow, and that'll take care of itself. And this one, as you can see, as I come round, all this is going to be undercut, so we'll end up with this fairly free, if not completely free, and the same with some of the stalk. So I'm going to turn to these bits next here, getting this sorted and this bit sorted, and then we're going to go back to the leaves. I'm using a flat gouge upside down, so there's a slight curve in sympathy with the cups of the acorns. I'm cleaning those up, and as I follow the shape round, just as before, it starts working down into this corner. So you can see how that little piece of wood just naturally falls away. That's the important thing I want to say, that it's this shape, and this shape, and it actually ends up with that little piece in the corner. So don't think about just hollowing out. And then you can use your skew chisel if you need to clean that in. But you should have a nice rounded shape going into there, following the bottom of the acorn. These acorns now coming round, the cups coming round to where this stalk is meeting. So just follow those around, clean them up. An important aspect of this design is the threefold nature of it. So this point here is where the stalk wants to be coming into. This point here where the centre vein is going to come into there, and so on. So everything's coming into there. So you need to bear that in mind as we do the stalk. We can't have the stalk coming out like that. It's got to point to some extent back here. It doesn't have to be exactly to the middle, but make sure that it is heading that way. So the first thing we need to do is take some of this away in the background here, so we can nice hard old wood. So this is coming right back here. Take some of that away like that. Okay, now what I've got here, I'm going to bring that down to the end there. What I've got here is the sort of cut off. There's probably a name for it. The cut off heel. That's it. The heel of the little cluster that's been taken off the branch. So I'm going to make this plane here. So this plane at this angle is this cluster there. So we eventually hollow that a little bit. So we make that angle first, and then we can find the right tool. I can start rounding this over. Now again, what I'm not going to do is just chop into it. I'm going to try and think about the shape of it as it comes around. And so it's coming into there. Here. So round like that. And then also, it's a little difficult to do this and show you at the same time. I'm going to round this over in this direction. So there's a stalk going behind there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come round to the other side to really do it, but I'm rounding that over there. I'm going to be rounding this over here, this way, and cleaning up that junction there, even as I also come round here, clean up the edge of that cup with the acorn. So you can see the fibres, I hope, going through like this. So they're quite long and this is quite strong. And of course, as we come round, eventually, not quite now, but we're going to be coming round and underneath here at some point. So that's what we're doing here. Rounding this over both ways, cleaning up that junction there, making sure the stalk runs through tidily and also heads to some extent towards this middle. So there's a bit of a curve on it like that. So feel the shape. And we get that as far as we can so we know what's happening here. So that's fairly well clear, and now we can turn to sort these leaves out a bit more.